it is inevitable that when you succeed, someone's going to talk trash about you.
100%.
And for you to be able to continue, regardless, what advice would you give to somebody that's coming up that wants to, that wants to succeed, but they're terrified because they're dealing with somebody else talking bad about them. They're terrified because they're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What advice would you give?
Such good questions, man. I would give, look in the mirror and believe in self, man. Because that's really the only person that's going to push or pull you forward, push you forward or pull you back, man. There's going to always be haters. There's going to always be people who have something to say. But if you aren't ready, you aren't prepared to get out there and stand on what you believe in, then really, truly, you should just sit in the back and just keep looking, because, until you are ready to answer that calling of being who you're supposed to be, speaking when you want to speak, standing for what you really, truly believe in, you can't really even be an entrepreneur, I don't think, because entrepreneurs are made creating things and what they believe in, so, you don't, first and foremost, before you even believe in a product, if you don't believe in yourself, you're not creating shit. You're not creating anything. So I've always believed that, man, everything started with belief in self. And that would be the number one thing that I would always tell people, because once you go within, you go inside, you figure out what your gifts are, you find out what you're powerful in, you find out what you're special in. You don't have to worry about, damn, am I ready for this? You think I can do it? Nah, know thyself. Like I said, I never thought I was going to be a public speaker ever, never took speaking classes, you know what I'm saying? But I had studied enough information. I had knew enough to where I could talk to somebody about this and have a regular conversation and talk about it passionately, because I knew the information. So then when I just went out and just started talking, and, it was like, yo, I'm just talking to my partners and my friends. They were young, they were interested in the thing. And it was like, yo, you'd be surprised how many people are interested and just as passionate about the things that you are. They just probably didn't have somebody out there doing it, for them to demonstrate, for them 100%. To follow it, man. So once I got out there and started talking about certain things and started seeing how ecstatic people were getting, and so, so excited, I'm like, yo, this is, I think this is my calling. You know what I'm saying? It changed my life forever, man. So I would say, take risk. Be willing. I mean, there was many business. Like I said, man, I started off with a headphone business. That ain't the one that made it. You know what I'm saying? But I had many businesses. You know what I'm saying? And this is the one that popped. But this one that popped is what gave me the energy and the funds to go back and do what I really wanted to do and what I really loved. And man, that's what it's all about, man. Take risk. Be afraid to fall on your face. And every single time that you fall, know that it's a lesson and a blessing in disguise. Never. The only thing that's never progression is when you don't even try. So people that don't even try, man, it's even hard for me to even hang around with you or kick it, because it's like, damn, you're not even trying to put forth the effort to give your own self financial freedom. It ain't even about financial freedom, but real true freedom. Because, like I know, once you started having a job, you started, being able to administrate and put people in places, and you got like a real business that's running for you, bro. You got time. You got more time. And more time for the family, more time for, laying up with your gal, more time for love, more time for the things that you truly care about, bro. But you can't really have those things until you go forth and put forth the energy to create something from the heart, from the soul and the mind, bro. And honestly, it almost became like addicting to me. It was like, yo, I did this. I put in the energy and the work, but it was like, you know what? Damn, maybe I could do this in that company. Maybe I could, and it started just sparking whole new ideas in my mind of creativity, just because it was like, yo, I did it. And I mean, once you have that first baby, you birth that and grow that one up, and you see it was successful. Oh, man. Yeah, man. That's how you get these people who come like serial entrepreneurs and, investors in multiple companies, the Damon Johns and the, because you just love business and the love seeing how to watch them go from babies to full grown adults, man. And it's beautiful to see the entrepreneur go through the phases of change of, work. Then now he's walking around the office with a coffee cup like, yep, damn it, I mean, yep, I need to hear it. But it's a
Yeah, yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah, yeah.
confidence level. It's a whole everything, bro. Because you gotta be confident, you gotta be willing to take risk, and you gotta most importantly believe in self. If you can have those three things, man, I think you could be unstoppable. You can do anything, man. Anything.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
And so one more thing that I gotta tap into
Yeah.
about our conversation. We was in Oklahoma, so we met in Atlanta, but we didn't have a chance to like really dive in and talk. But one
Right.
of the things I appreciated when we was in Oklahoma is because both of us had experience where people might disagree with what we do and
Yes.
fights and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So not physical fights, y'all.
Yeah, yeah,
Let,
yeah,
let me
yeah.
let me clarify for the people listening.
Yeah.
Not physical fights, nothing like that, but I
Yeah.
know that people can get upset, anger,
Right.
like visibly upset from the stuff that I talk about,
Yeah.
visibly upset from the stuff that Brother Truth talks about. But one of the things that we said is that if we have a disagreement, we will talk to each other behind the scenes and deal with it,
Man,
and
come
then
on.
see how we could deal with it in the front later. That was one of the things that
Man,
we talked about that I held on
man,
to, that I thought was powerful, and that's why I say, okay, you know what,
man,
I could rock with you, because if you want
man.
to call me and we could talk about it, even
Yeah,
if we have a disagreement, we could talk about it, then we can still press forward. I'm with it. Even
man.
if I disagree with you, I'm willing to have a conversation, and I'm still willing to appreciate you for the other aspect,
Yeah,
even if there's a piece that I don't agree with.
yeah,
I hope that makes
man.
sense. You know what I'm saying?
No, brother, I can't believe I forgot that part because that's exactly it. Like that was the thing we were talking about. And it's crazy because most of the times that I have
Yeah.
these issues and run-ins with brothers, it's they never wanted to have that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was never. Man, and I don't know if this has a lot to do with the trauma, the way that brother was raised. Crazy. Like certain brothers like you and my other brother, just it's a few of us, bro. But the one main thing that I noticed about all of us
Mm-hmm.
again is the kind of families that we come from, having fathers and
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. It was just one thing to know that, like my
Mm-hmm.
father said, well, you better be a stand-up guy. If you don't do nothing, you better learn how to do what you said you're gonna do. You better do this and woo, woo. And just like, and how to
Word.
respect a man, another man.
Yeah.
To be a
Yeah.
like I say, everything I saw from my father, and really growing up in the church. And we never, there wasn't never really that kind of beef or plexing in the church and nothing like that. And again, if people had issues or problem, they would handle it in a meeting behind closed door with the rest of the rest of the board or
Correct.
whatever it may have been. But I had never ever
Correct.
seen growing up like drama in the church where people would just, hey, we'll go in each other's heads and anything like that. It was like there was a process and a way of structuring and handling business. And growing up, church was really kind of the only business that I used to see that was kind of structured in that way. Because you had real structure, you had all
That's very true.
how
Very
to
true.
manage everything. So that's why I learned my basics of business, man, from the church. And it wasn't structured around hate. It was built around love. So I was like, I just want to run my businesses in that way. And like I said, when I first started talking to you, that was just one thing that we immediately saw eye to eye on. If we ever have an issue, let's just talk about it. And, we could call each other up and settle it like men. You know what I'm saying? But most of the situations that I see now, and this is how I know, like, okay, no, I can't mess with you. I already know I can't rock with you ever, because it's brothers that'll be cool. But, if we had a disagreement, their solution would be, oh, well, I'm going to go on Instagram and try to call this guy out and try to, tell folks he's this and that and this and that. And I'm like, bro, you could have, like, you got my phone number, fam. You could have called me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But instead, now you just showed your greed because really as a man, you wanted to take my spot, or you tried to pull me down so that people could see you up there, and you tried to shit, mess around, mess over me. But it's like, yo, it never really worked that way. Like it never worked out in their favor doing that. And another brother that, so it's been plenty of brothers. And another one that we were just talking to, and we were just going forth, I always be dropping knowledge on my page, and he disagreed, but and I was like, cool. And he was like, yo, man, you want to come on here? Let's have a live, man. Let's whoop, whoop. I'm like, a live? I don't alive for on something we disagreeing on. We could just talk about it and see what it is and move on. I've never really been dude on trying to stunt and say I'm smarter than you. I'll never have a battle of the battle of the knowledges and the battle of that's just not what I do. I don't care to know whose dick is, excuse me, whose stuff is bigger. You know what I'm saying? Or who's
I got you.
and,
I got you.
whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I don't care about
Yeah.
porn. And it's just because I'm fulfilled. I'm good. I don't feel any need to try and stunt or prove that I'm better than my brother. You know what I'm saying? And I just wish that more of us could operate from that place of love instead of trauma and of hurt. And because that's what I feel like a lot of our brothers are just operating from trauma, and they know when things aren't going their way, they fight. You know what I'm saying? Or they argue, and like, oh, he's getting more attention and time than me, or, he's getting more shine than me. I got to get mad. I got to pull him down. But when Apple, is coming out with a new product, Microsoft might look and be like, damn, that was a pretty good idea. You know what? Hey, in our commercial, let's do it like this, though. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And they compete with each other through by greatness, by pushing each other to be better, coming out with a better product, a better idea, whoop, whoop. And that's what made them want to go back to the drawing board. Steve Jobs never had to really call out Jeff Bezos and be like, yo, Jeff, your wife ain't, whoop, whoop, you ain't this and that. I remember when I saw it. We never see that with rich, wealthy Jews or anything, or Chinese people, or man, because there's a structure and a way of handling their business, and they would never, ever put it out there on Front Street that we're hurting right now, or that we're going through something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At least to the forefront, we always hard body. We let everybody know that we got ours together, but we'll never let y'all know that we ain't on the same page on the public. Right. So that's what makes a lot from our community so hard to grow. That's what makes our culture look so much weaker, just because we don't know how to communicate with each other. So instead, when opportunities, we could easily get over a situation and make an amends on something and move forward 10 times greater. We would rather just sit and beef and and it's like, bro, we could sit and talk like men, but boys don't want to do that nowadays. It's just trauma. I want to pull your man down. I want to, so I'm just past that, man. And nowadays I don't even entertain that kind of stuff, bro. And it's like I used to stay up all night and be on the computer, on the phone, arguing with these people. You ain't gonna talk about me like this. You ain't. But as I grew up, I grew more mature, and I knew that, usually when people wanted to talk about you is because it was a weakness that they felt within themselves, man. So man, it was cool, man, because I know when real kings want to sharpen iron, we're gonna build like men. If it's something I don't understand, I'm not gonna say, yo, bro, you stupid, you sound crazy. I don't, that's not true. Nah, because if it's something that sounds unfamiliar to me, first of all, I love that feeling, because it's like, damn, hold on. He might be on something. This is, can this take me on a whole nother journey? So now when I come to places of uncertainty, I'm actually a little bit more tuned in, but some uncertainty with them, they'd be like, that's not what I was taught growing up. So, you a liar, you a whoop, you're a fraud. And it's just crazy because, people are always telling you fraud when you ain't doing it their way. That's one thing I've also learned.
Yeah.
If you ain't doing it their way, you must be fraud. And I'm like, yo, it's cool. Man. So it sucks to a degree because I got to kind of keep my space and I got to be very careful. And I got boundaries now on who I kind of build with and how and what I expose myself to them about. Just because, everybody doesn't always have good intentions. Sometimes even your own people. So it is what it is, man. But I always move in love, never in hate. Keep my spirit and my heart open to those who are willing to receive and vice versa. But yeah, we always keep this sword in the back pocket, though, brother. You never know. You always got to be ready.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I would just much rather be a gardener, in a war instead of a warrior in the. Well, hold on. No, I'd rather be a warrior in the garden instead of a gardener in the midst of a war. I think that's how it goes.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right. And I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yes, I
can agree.